there anything that we cannot really see from like the audience standpoint that you want us to know?
The first thing that came to mind was it's not as easy as it seems. It's very easy to judge, to say, oh, that was bad, oh, that was bad, or that was good. And in improv especially, the audience, they will reward you when they think a scene is good by laughing or cheering. But they're very critical and they're harsh. So if let's say you bring a villain onto the scene, they'll boo the villain. And even though it's not the person that they're booing the villain. They have to understand that their actions will also affect how we're feeling and what we're doing. And if the audience is booing, then it's very hard to continue to be that character and to continue to do what you were doing.
How do you transform yourself into the character?
I think in improv, because you can make a character any way you want to, it is to make a decision and commit 100% to that person. Of course, you can, you gain inspiration from what's already inside your head. So if I think, oh, I want to portray Ponyo from Studio Ghibli, then I will take everything I know about that character and I will just embody it and I will commit to it. I will try my best to portray Ponyo. I won't just do 20% of Ponyo. I'm doing 110%. And I think when you tell yourself mentally, this is what I'm going to do, and you actually stick to it, that is the fastest and easiest way to do that. In improv, you'll do multiple scenes, which means you're going to be portraying multiple characters. So you could play really nice, happy, optimistic character, but you could also play a very dark and villainous character. And I think when you're doing those switches, from scene to scene, back to back, in that it's quite difficult because as an actor, you often experience the emotions that your character is experiencing.
Do you get nervous on the stage? If so, how do you deal with it?
I think I will always get nervous in front of an audience on stage because I have very high expectations for myself and I always want to do well. And those two things put together, for me, result in nervousness. But how I handle it and how it differed from when I first started and my last show, it's very, very different. So at the beginning, I was a lot more afraid of other people's judgments, whereas later on, I only became afraid of my own judgment. I learned to cast away what the audience thought of me, because what's most important is how is my own perception of myself and how I think I'm doing. And I think performing as a musician as well is very similar. The more you do something, the more you're comfortable with it. But I think you'll always have that that excitement in your heart, right? Because it's something that you want to do. And if you have a passion for it, you'll definitely come to have more energy when you're doing that thing.
As you just mentioned in the beginning, actually, you were not theater major, but how does that involvement with those theater production on campus affect your life outside of production?
I get a lot of joy from talking to other people because I'm very extroverted. And in theater classes, that's really all you do. You interact with your classmates, you do a scene, you have a lot of feedback and your involvement with your peers is very high. Whereas in other classes, you just sit down, you just talk, or sometimes you don't even talk, you just listen to a lecture. And I think for me, it's definitely hey, this can be fun if you want it to be fun. Or, hey, you have all these potential friends in a room that you can talk to, that you can become good friends with. And for me, it's just the mentality of the potential. You have so much potential no matter where you go in different aspects. So interpersonally, personally, it's whatever you make it out to be. And I think by just becoming more comfortable in my own skin, especially through theater classes, right? Because you put so much out of your comfort zone, that bubble that started here, it's here now. You're comfortable with a lot of other things. But I've learned to just try something new, try to do something new. When you messaged me about this interview, I'm I'm nervous. This seems hard. Then I was no, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. It sounds so fun. I think a lot of people involved in the arts, they learn to express themselves externally. So whether it be through like fashion or how they dress themselves, they break the status quo, in my opinion.
How do you think the experience with the theater activities shape you as a person?
It depends on actually when you start theater. That's very important. So if you start when you're like 5 years old, which I have a couple of friends who did do that, they grew up with theater all their life, and their whole world revolves around it. It's something that they've always known, something they're comfortable doing, and it's something that they always would think that they would be doing. But for me, theater came into my life a lot later. So when I was 14, so middle school, I actually got the lead in the middle school play. And honestly, that was a highlight. That was what made me think, oh my God, I could do this. Oh my goodness, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's such a thrilling, new, exciting thing to do. And looking back, it wasn't anything, but it really it just started something new. And it was a passion that I was like, oh, I can watch these people perform in a different way rather than, oh, now I can perform.
Yeah.
So it's that main difference, like that whole switch of an outlook. It's saying I can do that.
Yeah.
And so I think when that started in me, my personality began to change because I was very shy when I was young. But when you're on stage, oh my goodness, you're talking in front of thousands of people, and you learn to appreciate their presence. And so with that, I began to talk to a lot more people because more people would come up to me. They'd be like, oh, good job in the play, da-da-da. And I'd be like, whoa, I'm not used to talking to so many people. But when you do it, you really learn to enjoy it.
In your opinion, what is the importance of learning art for younger people?
I think it's learning that you can express yourself in many forms. So when people think art, I think they think painting or drawing, but you can express yourself physically through movement, in dance, in playing an instrument. You can express yourself vocally through singing or performing, which is both embodiment, physical and vocal embodiment and whatnot. And I think it's very important for everyone to at least try it, which I think is something a liberal arts college like Rollins does very well, because it forces each student to take an art class, whether it be a painting or a theater class. And I think people will learn that one, hey, it could totally be something that they don't want to do. But two, I think it'll teach them that they need to really push themselves out of their comfort zone to grow as a person. So I think with art, no matter how adapted you are, no matter how much you like and have a passion for it, you're always growing. You're always challenging yourself. You're always doing something different, and you're always building different skills during the process.
So do you think that involving with theater activities changed the way that you communicate with others?
Yes. I think how I communicate with others now, it's a lot more of a delicate process, I think, because in improv, you learn that different people will interact differently depending on your character, depending on your relationship, depending on your status. And I've come to realize it's a very, very delicate process. And although I might not care initially with strangers, it's something that I hold very dear to me when I interact with people that I care about, like my friends and my family. And for me, I just really learned to cherish my loved ones. And I feel like it's a very far-fetched thing to say. So wait, you're not telling me that your experience of theater has taught you to love your family. It's not a direct correlation, but it's something that I've realized that what I've done while also been doing since I've started theater, that is what it has led me to. It's what I've learned to do. It's learning that each relationship that you have, for example, the relationship that we have, or the relationship that me and my roommate have, or me and my dad, it's very different and it's delicate, and I treat it differently because of the background and because of what has happened in the past and what I want to happen in the future.
Now, do you have any other things that you want to share, or
any other things? Let me think. I think, okay, Rio, we're both very artistically inclined. So you love music, it's what you decide to study, and I love theater, it's what I decided to involve myself into college. I think I have a message to the people who aren't as artistically inclined as we are. And I want to say to these people, please try it. Please try something that you've always wanted to try. Try something that you think you're going to be bad at, because who knows? If you are bad at it, then at least you know you're bad at it. But if you have a passion for it, and that passion will drive you to continue, and you'll learn so much about yourself, and you'll learn so much about like others. You'll have more empathy with others, and learning to truly express yourself in an art form that you feel comfortable with. It's an experience that I cannot describe. It is something that you have to experience for yourself. So please go outside and experience that.
I'm so glad that I got to talk with you, and I'm very happy that you took this interview and took your time, and we are very grateful.
Thank you, Rio.